Well, one of the attorneys general in this country is actually taking it to the Biden administration on a whole host of issues. Is Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich, who I haven't had on the show. How are you, sir?
Very good, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm fine. You're a Montenegrin.
I am. Yes. My Brnoviches, are one of the old Montenegrin families, small country, less than 1 million people. Everyone seems to know everybody. I'm very proud of my heritage.
Well, I'm just saying, if you get elected to the Senate, which is I know where you want to go, then you can do what the liberals say. You're the first Montenegrin.
It's funny because some of the folks in the community have mentioned that. So it's not to belabor this too much, but it's funny because when I was there like a couple summers ago, I met with the president because I'm like now the leading Montenegrin in the United States. So I will be the Orthodox Montenegrin in the U.S. Senate, the only Orthodox Montenegrin in the U.S. Senate. So I got that going for me, Mark.
Well, then I expect most liberal Democrats to vote for you because they're into the first, aren't they? I'm just saying.
They should be. I mean, my first language was Serbo-Croatian. I'm very, very woke in that sense, right?
Yeah, that'll take you far, though. I'm not sure.
Well, the left is not intellectually honest. You know that better than anyone. And, they will people like me, they can't stand. There's a reason why Tom Steyer and the left has lined up against me my entire career because I was late to politics. I was a prosecutor most of my career, and they can't stand guys like me that are first-generation Americans that believe in constitutional conservatism, that understand that individual liberty and freedom is what made this country great, and that is the inheritance we have to pass on to our generations. So they're doing everything they can to try to destroy guys like me.
Well, let's get into this. You've brought a number of cases challenging some of the unconstitutional or illegal or inappropriate steps of the Biden administration. Give us some examples.
Mark, we have 3 active lawsuits right now related to the border, where we sued the Biden administration over the interim guidance where they literally were not following, Section 8 of the U.S. Code, and they literally have not deported 1.2 million people, deportation orders. Texas is also involved in a similar lawsuit. We sued the Biden administration over its illegal failure to build the wall, over its Remain in Mexico policy, and we did a creative lawsuit basically saying that as a result of their policies, this open border policies, it's not only impacting our national security, but it's quite frankly in a violation of the Environmental Protection Act, which the left uses all the time to, force federal bureaucrats to do something. We're saying you got to continue to build the wall, and you got to continue to enforce federal law because you're not. That's what's led to this economic impact with all these millions of people crossing our border illegally. But, I've got a lawsuit against Yellen. We've got a lawsuit that basically says the COVID relief bill, besides the fact that it's a bunch of big government bloat and, full of crony capitalism, it also prohibits states from cutting taxes. And so we have a lawsuit over that. We believe that clearly violates. It's an attempt by the Biden administration to commandeer the states and, violates traditional notions of federalism and 10th Amendment.
And you've also, when it's come to this audit in Arizona and so forth, Maricopa County said we're not responding to subpoenas. And what did you say?
Mark, I have been consistent with day one. There is no other person in this country that did more for election integrity the last election than I did. And I've literally talked to President Trump about this. Our office went 6 for 6 in 2020 when the left tried to mail out ballots to everyone whether they wanted them or not. I went to court and I stopped it. When they tried to extend the curing period on ballots, they were successful in Pennsylvania, but not in Arizona because I took that case to the federal courts. And literally, the most important, case in a decade at the U.S. Supreme Court is called Brnovich v. DNC. This last term that I personally argued, it's named Brnovich because no other elected official here stepped up. I stepped in, I intervened to defend Arizona's common sense election integrity measures. And as a result of that, you see states like Florida and Georgia and other states now enacting common sense election integrity measures that quite frankly are not only consistent with the Constitution, but instill confidence in voters. As to the audit specifically, I have said all along, I've actually filed paperwork that the state Senate has a right to do the audit. A court actually here agreed with us, and we have said to the county that if they do not turn over the subpoenaed information, that we will withhold, or we'll tell the treasurer to withhold their share of state revenue, which is literally hundreds of millions of dollars. So, I'm not doing the audit. I believe very strongly in the separation of powers as a constitutional conservative. The Senate has a right to do the audit. How they do the audit is their business. I've said from day one, we await the results. And, as a prosecutor, I learned a long time ago, Wait till you get all the facts and evidence before you comment or move forward. And that's what I'm doing. So I've supported the Senate's right to conduct the audit, period, and we are waiting for the results.
Now, this guy, Mark Kelly, he's running for re-election. Quite frankly, he's like in the witness protection program. I don't even know what his voice sounds like. And I've been following this for a long time. He's been going along with the hardcore left virtually in every vote. He's not like, they say Sinema and Manchin. I don't even trust them, but he's never counted among them as a possible no vote on anything. So he's decided to throw in with the Schumers of the world and the Markeys and all the rest. Now, he's up for election. And so in the Republican primary, Republicans are duking it out. And you're one of the ones running in the Republican primary. So tell the people of the country and in Arizona why you're the guy.
It's quite simply this, Mark. We need people that have been tested, that are principled, that basically can articulate and defend Arizona values. And I know when people first started talking about me running for the Senate, I was very humbled. The thought of a kid like me, a first-generation American, sitting in the desk of Barry Goldwater, making these monumental decisions was almost overwhelming. But I thought to myself, wait a minute, this is America, and this whole country is founded on opportunity in the Constitution. And what is happening in Washington, D.C. now is eroding traditional notions of federalism. And people like Mark Kelly, who vote with Schumer 98% of the time, basically are dramatically expanding the size and scope of the federal government. Mark Kelly is, one of the signatures of the S1, co-sponsors that want to nationalize our election and put more control in D.C. He's on board with the $3.5 trillion dollar, boondoggle that's essentially going to subsidize green energy. So he is a big government liberal Democrat that's basically put his stake with the Democratic Party. And I think it's important that we have people representing Arizona in the U.S. Senate that have been tried, true, and tested and can articulate and defend our values. And I've told people this before, Mark, when I've been on, sometimes I'm on Fox shows, whatever, is that Arizona's not a purple state in the sense that I got more votes than Sinema or McSally, even though people like Tom Steyer spent $7 million the last month attacking me. People can draw their own conclusions why the big tech people come after me. But the point is that you need someone that can not only take a punch but give a punch, someone that understands what freedom's all about, someone that understands that it's not more than one generation away from extinction, and we have to fight for that. It's not something we pass on our kids in our blood. And I have lived it. I know it. And if you look at what I've done consistently throughout my career, whether it's at the Goldwater Institute, whether it's being a gang prosecutor, I have always stood up.
I've got 1 minute left.
Okay, yes, sir.
Mr. Attorney General, who else is running in the Republican primary?
Mark, my focus has always been on...
But give me their names. Give me their names. Who are they?
There's some guy that Peter Thiel's supporting, and
who else?
Some guy who's a solar guy here in Arizona.
All right, listen, I'm running out of time. Here's what I want to do. I've studied your background. I've talked to a number of people in Arizona and other people that I trust who are not in Arizona, and I want to endorse you. We got to win this seat. You seem very solid to me. You seem very a constitutionalist to me. Come what may, I want to endorse you for the primary in the Republican Party for the Senate in Arizona. We must win that seat, and you sound very solid to me. You got guts.
Thank you. BrnoForAZ.com is website, or MarkB for AZ.com if people want to know more, Mark. Thank you so much, brother.
All right, you got it. I'll be right back.